Hello, and welcome to It Matters How We Treat One Another, the social psychology show. I'm your host, Matthew David Vasco. If you subscribe to this show on YouTube or your favorite podcasting platform, then thank you. We are grateful for each and every one of our subscribers. This episode features an in-depth look at when it matters how we treat people as a business professional. And by this, I mean the work of customer service professionals or people who work with the public. But first, our inspiring news. If inspiring things are happening in your neck of the woods, like let's say you volunteered at a service activity in your community or you've been inspired by someone in your life, then please email me at M as in Matthew, D as in David, VASKO, that's MD Vasco, at gmail.com and let me know. This week's inspiring news comes from goodnewsnetwork.org. The headline reads, Thousands of circular homes are surviving hurricanes across the U.S. thanks to a North Carolina company. The article starts, quote, when Hurricane Milton recently smashed into Florida's Crystal River, a peculiar house stood firm even while a neighbor's was heavily damaged by the powerful winds. It is one of 3,000 along the Gulf and Atlantic coasts of the U.S. built by Deltec Homes, which use prefabricated parts to build hurricane-resistant homes. Utilizing basic principles of aerodynamics, Deltec's homes are cylindrical and sit on stilts that reach deep into the bedrock below. Coupled with a conical roof, this means there is no surface where the wind can gain enough purchase to push the structure over. End quote. This is indeed inspiring news as we search for new ways to combat climate change. Scientists say that we will be seeing more and bigger storms as a result of climate change, so building structures that can withstand high winds will help people in areas affected by hurricanes and other large storms keep their homes. Again, if you know of inspiring news happening in your area, please email me at mdvasco@gmail.com and let me know. Thanks. Up next is our feature segment. But first, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Some years ago, I was struggling with depression. I knew I was depressed, but I had a hard time asking for help. It seemed like a huge hurdle to figure out how to access therapy services, and the thought of opening up about my depression made me nervous. I eventually did get brave and sought help. Finally, starting therapy was such a relief because knowing I had a professional in my corner helped me start to feel better after even the very first session. Thankfully, BetterHelp is on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Fill out a questionnaire and you will be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple days. All you need to do is click the link in the description to get started. And BetterHelp is offering fans of this show 10% off your first month of therapy. All you have to do is visit betterhelp.com/itmatters. That's betterhelp.com/itmatters. And now our feature segment. Today, we are talking about the art and science of customer service. When you stop to think about it, customer service touches many industries from retail stores to hospitality services to the service industry. Everything from unclogging drains to cutting hair to fixing cars. Fast food, sit-down restaurants, and even the travel industry. Customer service, it seems, is everywhere. I myself have worked in customer service at different times in my life, starting as early as age 10, when I started mowing lawns with my brother and uncle and started shining shoes in my dad's barber shop to earn a little spending money. All of these things taught me the importance of making the customer happy while being careful not to overpromise and underdeliver or give away the store, as they say. I also worked in retail and telephone sales and customer service, even managing an inbound telephone sales and customer service center with 30 plus employees for 7 years. I've worked extensively in all levels of customer service, and I'll tell you that it can be both demanding and highly rewarding. When you're able to successfully turn around an upset customer or solve a problem for someone, that's a really good feeling. And the fact of the matter is that with the right attitude, 80 to 90% of interactions with customers could be warm and friendly experiences. You just never quite know what you're going to get from one moment to the next. What is more, people who work in customer service tend to be very friendly and outgoing people. This can make going to work a lot of fun because the people you work with help make it fun. One thing we did to help keep morale up in the phone room was to be sure to honor celebrations and special occasions. For example, we always celebrated staff members' birthdays, and we would have holiday celebrations for holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving. We even had one staff member who was always thoughtful about making Valentine's Day a fun holiday for everyone, regardless of whether or not they had a significant other. Rewarding customer service professionals for a job well done can also help keep morale high. It is important to keep the right mindset in customer service. This is where the group of values I call the core four can be helpful. The core four values are the same ones I say at the end of every episode of this show. They are kindness, respect, empathy, and compassion. When you bring these four values to your work as a customer service professional, it's hard to go wrong. Think about it. How would you like to be met when you enter a store? Chances are that you would want the person who helps you to be kind, respectful, empathetic to your needs, and compassionate towards any misfortune that might have befallen you. Where I would see employees go wrong in customer service is when they were unsympathetic or uncaring about a problem a customer was having. The secret is to care about the customers as much as you would want someone to care about you if you were in the customer's shoes. It's a version of the golden rule. But when it comes to helping the customer resolve their concern, it was even better to take on what we often refer to as the platinum rule. That is to treat the customer the way they want to be treated. I think this is where the old adage, the customer is always right, comes from. If you can help a customer resolve their problem the way they would like to see it resolved, this will be the best way to make them feel satisfied with their experience. One of the biggest secrets for caring for an upset customer is simply to be a good listener. Most of the time, customers simply want to know that someone cares. Though companies sometimes balk at this because it implies claiming fault, a simple "I'm sorry" can go a long way, even if you categorize it as "I'm sorry you had that experience." You are simply affirming for the customer that you believe what they're saying to be true from their own perspective. The secret to keeping your cool with upset customers is to remember that it's not personal. They're usually upset about a situation, not upset with you. And remember that remaining calm is not doing nothing. Remaining calm displays a demeanor of professionalism and care. Remaining calm will often help the customer calm themselves down as well. Something to remember when you're a frontline customer service worker who works with the customers directly at first contact is what tools you have at your disposal. Many companies empower their employees to utilize tools like a discount, coupon, or promotion to help smooth over the ruffled feathers of customers. If you do this sort of analysis and find that you don't have any tools at your disposal, then it might be worth checking with your boss or supervisor to see if they might be able to make something available to you. Chances are that they can give you one or two tools to help improve the overall customer experience and or resolve a customer service concern. I want to close this segment today by saying that if you're considering a career in customer service, it might be worth doing some self reflection into whether or not you're a people person. Over the years, I've tended to find that folks who generally like people and like talking to people were pretty happy in the customer service field. Meanwhile, those folks who thought customers were, quote, idiots and who were irritated with small talk grew increasingly unhappy in customer service and were susceptible to burnout. It really helps to be a people person when the vast majority of your day is spent helping people. And a helping attitude helps too. If you go into customer service with a mind towards being of service, then you'll probably be a lot happier in the long run. I'll close by saying I've always thought it would be good for all members of society to work in customer service when they are young, because doing so would make us all kinder and more empathetic customers. After all, customer service professionals are people too, with a full range of emotions and feelings. And even as a customer, a little kindness goes a long way. This brings us to the end of this episode of It Matters How We Treat One Another. Please subscribe to keep up with all our episodes, and you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/itmatterspatrons, or by shopping our Etsy store at etsy.com/shop/itmattersmerch. There are links in the description. We just added a bunch of new products to our merch store, so be sure to check that out again if you've been there in the past. Your quote of the week is, quote, happiness is a byproduct of an effort to make someone else happy, end quote. That is from author Greta Palmer. And remember, treat everyone with kindness, respect, empathy, and compassion, and try for love and acceptance whenever possible. Be well, and much love to you all.